lot of new talent joining the company in the main roster right now, right? Do you think that they are all ready for this main roster spot, going through them one by one? And how high do you think their ceiling is? I guess I'll go first, right? I'll start off with Javon Evans. I think he's super, super ready. He's gotten a lot of good looks. I think the crowd and the kids are going to love him. Out of all of them, I wish he's the one that stayed in NXT. And the only reason I'll say that is I don't trust WWE to make all these people successful this year. Now, everybody's not going to get a main roster spot that's a headlining spot, right? But I do think he could get that. But I don't think he has the polishing technicals of everything of a Trick Williams that's got the size of an Oba. So I think that he's not going to get like a world title shot or something this year, but I think he's going to make waves and be around. What do you think for him and expect from him this year?
Yeah, I think Javon's ready. Technically, I think he's really great in the ring. He's got a little nerves with him still on the mic. And I think we're gonna definitely see him get polished up. Yeah, he could have stayed on NXT, but he's got so much hype with him, and he's been having some great matches in AAA. So I think that helps him. Is the fact that we're gonna see him on the roster, but I think we'll still see him in AAA a little bit too. And that'll let him get a little more reps in. It seems like he's hungry to work, and I've got really high hopes for him. I think something to remember with Javon versus, say, Trick or Javon versus Oba is Javon's got quite a bit less experience.
Hmm.
He's a good 10 years younger than Trick. Trick's 31, Javon's 21. And I mean Oba's about as ready as you could see. He's like 27, but he's definitely come into his own. I think he's going to be the one that gets the biggest push off the bat.
Yeah, I guess we'll
Um,
go into Oba next. I agree with you and Javon. And I just think looking at like draft classes, I just think this is a really strong class. And a lot of these people could be headliners
oh
right
hell
off the
yeah.
bat if they just waited. But I mean, hey, you got him ready now, go for it. So next up, Oba. This guy's the most ready. I don't watch NXT. I did see the thing after you told me about how he kind of like vacates it. Love that. Love how they handled that. Don't think the vignettes have been the best with him, but at least they're showing him on screen in the main roster. And I expect to be in the main title scene this year, mixing it up with headliners, and I cannot wait for him. I think he has the highest ceiling immediately, and I really hope to see him versus Drew McIntyre this year. And I also want to say that I really want either Braun Breaker or Oba to be the one who eventually retires Brock Lesnar.
I think my pick would be for Braun Breaker to retire him, but I'm really looking forward to Oba. I think a feud with him and Drew. I think run it back with him and Cody. Even with now that Cody doesn't have the belt, there's a little bit less on the line for Cody to lose.
Mhm.
He doesn't lose with the belt; he loses without it. Um, and I'm just so excited to see what they do with Oba. They can have him have a match with damn near anyone. It's going to be an amazing match. I'm going to be here for it. I think having a random feud maybe at some point in time with Roman Reigns with Oba could be awesome. The Chief versus the Ruler. Uh, that's a big story. I think that's going to take some time to brew up, but could be an exciting angle too. So, yeah, I think Oba's the most ready, and I think him and Javon both have really no ceiling as far as what's going to hold them back. And Javon getting that early of a start in the main roster, I think if anyone's set to break the Randy Orton youngest champion record, I think it could be Javon. You could see him have that title at 24, 23, 24 in a couple years after they build him up to win something at a WrestleMania or a big show in a few years. I think it could be a good angle and have him be someone to really come up and start breaking some records.
For sure, man. Up next, we got Joe Hendry, right? Ex I expect more of him from time to time. I expect funny cameos. I expect him to come out at Royal Rumbles and different things like that. But I don't see him necessarily getting like a mid or main card belt at any point in like the next year, but I expect to see him a lot and him be a fun character.
Maybe a mid card belt, maybe a mid. I don't see him at a top. Especially I think he's going to still be on NXT for a little while. I don't think he's gotten the full sign on, or if he has, I think we're going to see him spread around,
Yeah,
doing more backstage stuff, comedy segments and things.
for sure.
Um, I will be interested in when they think the time is right to push him more. And I kind of agree. I don't think it's going to be this year, but maybe we see him with a mid-card belt at some point or work towards that towards the end of the year at least. But I love Joe Hendry. I like his gimmick. I think it's a lot of fun. I think if they use it right, that him and R-Truth and these guys could be a lot of fun together. Even having the segments with Otis and stuff in the backstage. I think it's important to have some comic relief in the show because we all kind of saw what the show looked like without our comic relief when Carlito and R-Truth were, getting cut, and everyone kind of rebelled against all the comedy getting out of the show at the same time, especially Kurt or Chad Gable was out and all of that. Everyone latched onto El Grande for the comic relief, so it's fun getting some of that back on the show. I think it needs it to balance it out.
Next up, we got Trick Williams. My predictions for Trick Williams and my thoughts. This is another example of ready right now. He's got the whole package. He's got the look, he's got the skill, he's got the size, and he's got the mic skills as well. I don't see him in a main title headliner spot, but I definitely expect to see him with a mid-card title in the next year to year and a half. Wouldn't mind seeing him versus Mello in a dope epic battle. Yeah, what do you think about Trick?
I agree all the way around. I think he's super ready. I think we've already seen it with him on the mic in the ring with Randy, and the backstage segments. He's got so much character. He's got a lot of charisma out there, and I think that's going to carry him a long way. And having seen him in the ring and stuff, in NXT like for quite a while now, he's he's ready, man. I could definitely see him with that mid-card belt and really good feuds coming up this next year. So excited to see it.
Cool, man. A couple more here. Matt Cardona just joined, right? I think it's funny how creative, like, quote unquote, doesn't pay attention to the fans, but then they obviously do. Kind of like certain things that they choose, kind of like that teaser where he went from Ryder to Cardona right there. I think it's funny, like when he came out as Zack Ryder, it was like a big fuss and feud on like Twitter and Reddit of people arguing, like almost hating on him from what it sounded like. I think this kind of just snuffs everybody in the face. I think the people that are defending it, it goes to show, no, he really did mean it and he really did submit to them, but obviously they respect him a little bit and listen to the fans a little bit and changed it. Overall, I like him. I see it mid card for the year, but I don't necessarily see him getting a mid card title. But glad he's there. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a little early to really tell with him. It's going to be interesting to see what aspects of his character they play into, have what they acknowledge from his indie runs with him coming in as Matt Cardona. I think a lot of the criticism online, one of him coming as as Zack Ryder for the John Cena tour, I think it's exactly that. Matt Cardona and John Cena didn't have history. Zack Ryder and him did. So it made more sense for him to come back as that character. But for the contract and the new year and him actually getting back into the main roster in WWE, I think it's the right call to have him be Matt Cardona, have him have a fresh start with this. And yeah, if he's got to climb his way up through the mid card to get to the top, even though we're getting him like kind of given some acknowledgement with Cody. I think it will be good to build him up. I think he's got a lot to prove now that he's back, and I think he's going to prove it. If there's anything that we know about Matt Cardona from his indie runs or any of that, it's that the dude works hard. He's constantly working hard. He's constantly hustling and pushing. So it's going to be fun to see him channel that energy into the character, and I hope they let him run with it. So I'm excited to see what happens with him.
All right, I want to bug you about a couple more here, bro. Speaking of the females, Lash Legend. It seems like she's just been so hot and on fire since she came. Obviously not as new as these other ones, but I see really big things for her this year, as powerful as they're making her out to be. What about yourself?
I love Lash, man. I thought she was strong in NXT. I like her here. I like that they're putting her over. As much as I didn't like some of the choices that they made for the people that they used to put her over, I think that she deserves the push and that she's ready. I think she looks strong out there and she's gonna look really powerful against everyone coming up this year. I think we're gonna see a really good push for her at the Royal Rumble. It's excited to see her here in the main roster. It's cool to see Trick Williams get up at the same time. I don't know if you know, but they're married and have been for a while since like NXT. They've been together. So just another possible mixed tag team, you know. I'm all about that.
I didn't even know that, but that's a power couple right there if I ever saw one.
Bro, I think to call out, I think that another one that we could see coming up to the main roster, because I don't think this is it as far as the women coming up. I think we're just getting started with seeing some of these women from NXT come forward. Of course, we think Sol Ruca, I think could be another one to come up soon. But Kaylani Jordan is one that has been really good over in NXT, and I think we could see her come up pretty soon too. She won some belts over in TNA. She's been fairly tenured in NXT, so I think she's also ready, man. She's great on the mic. She's great in ring. And that'll be another one. That's Mello's fiance right now. So I just want to see all these. There's too many couples in wrestling right now. We got to see this all pay off against Chelsea Green and Ethan Page in a mixed tag tournament.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. One or two more. I'll make these ones really quick, one sentences each. Kiana James. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna cut her by the end of the year if they don't do something with her, man.
I think she's too good in ring for them to cut. They need to do something, but they do need to do something with her.
Yeah, she's kind
Um,
of just
that's
there.
it. I think she's got all the potential to do a lot, but they got to give her the opportunity to. They were spending some energy building her in this last run with Julia, so much to the point where I was aggravated they weren't giving more run to their actual champion, that they were trying to build up Kiana. So if they let that all kind of fizzle and be forgotten, I think that'll be to her detriment.
Last but certainly not least, I have Jordan Grace. We saw her appearance this week on SmackDown. I like her.
That
She's
is the
cool.
juggernaut.
There you go. You probably know more
The
about her than I do, but I see her like a powerhouse, kind of like a gymnastics, powerlifting type chick. I kind of see like mid card. I think she's dope, but I think she's there to serve a purpose. I don't see her like winning like titles or anything this year.
She was very much at the top of her game in TNA before coming over to NXT, and she had a pretty good run in NXT. I was kind of surprised to see her get called up now, and so I think you're right. I see some mid card in her future, but hopefully she gets kind of used to the main roster and works her way up from there. But I think that they are really just trying to bring in some strong talent that they can throw against Jade Cargill right now and make Jade Cargill look really good. So, yeah, right there with you.
All right, brother, that's all we got. We'll see what happens here. Good talking to you. I'm about to head out to San Jose Sharks game, and we'll talk again next week for another review of SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah, brother, you have a good one. Have a good night at that game, and I will catch you at the end of the week.
All right, peace.
Have a good one.